You don't have a van problem. You have a parking problem that's about to cost you $15,000, and you won't figure that out until the money is already gone. Here's what's actually happening to buyers right now. They spend weeks researching layouts, conversion companies, solar setups, engine specs. They spend $45,000, sometimes $80,000 on a van they love. Then they drive it to the first city on their route. The parking garage entrance says 6 feet 4 inches. Their van is 6 feet 8. They reverse out. They circle for 40 minutes. They park illegally on a residential street and hope. Then the fine arrives, $200. Then another. By the end of the first month, they've spent more fixing parking mistakes than they did on their entire solar setup. The campground charges an oversized vehicle surcharge because they're over 20 feet. The overnight lot they plan to use has a weight restriction they can't meet. Stop. Think about what that actually adds up to. That's $800 a month in parking failures alone, more than most people's van insurance premium, and it compounds every single month they own the wrong vehicle. That's not bad luck. That's a buying decision that was wrong before the keys were ever handed over. Most van life content you're watching was filmed at scenic overlooks with no traffic, no restrictions, and no parking signs. Not at 6:30 a.m. circling a city block in a van that doesn't fit. This video is different. Smart Buyer Framework. Before we get into specific vehicles, here's the framework smart buyers use in 2026. Miss this, and nothing else in this video matters. 3 numbers. Verify them before you spend a single dollar. Number 1. Overall length. Under 20 feet for maximum city flexibility. Push to 22 feet and you can still access most U.S. street parking. Hit 24 feet and you've eliminated 50% of urban overnight spots in America and 60% of European city centers. That's not a minor inconvenience. That's a structural restriction baked into your purchase, one you'll pay for every week you own the vehicle. Number 2. Roof height. Under 6 feet 4 inches clears standard parking garage infrastructure. Go higher, and you need to verify every overnight stop in advance. Most don't have the clearance, and the ones that do charge premium rates for oversized vehicles because they know you have no choice. Number 3. Curb weight class. Under 6,000 pounds GWVR keeps you clear of commercial vehicle regulations in most U.S. cities. In Europe, under 3,500 kilograms maintains motor caravan classification, full AIRS access, no HGV routing, no low-emission zone surcharges on compliant units. Here's the line dealers will never say to your face. They don't care if your van fits a parking garage. They care if it fits your financing. That's the game. And the buyers who understand it before they walk onto a lot are the ones who don't end up posting in van life forums asking why their dream turned into a $15,000 lesson. Part 1. Ford Transit Custom. The first van smart buyers are targeting in 2026 is the Ford Transit Custom, not the full-size Transit, the Custom. This is the distinction most buyers never make, and it's worth $12,000 in total ownership cost before the first service interval. The number that drives this decision is 6 feet 2 inches. That's the medium roof height. It clears 95% of U.S. parking garages in virtually every underground structure in Western Europe. Overall length runs 16 to 17.5 feet, depending on wheelbase. In urban environments, it parks like a large SUV. Why smart buyers choose it? The Transit Custom threads the needle between real interior space and city-capable dimensions better than almost any other platform in this price range. 2.4 meters of usable cargo floor, enough for a sleeping platform, a functional kitchen, and working storage, and it fits in Amsterdam, Austin, and Edinburgh without checking clearance heights first. Real used price range. A 2019 to 2022 Transit Custom with under 80,000 miles runs $28,000 to $42,000 in the US. In Europe, the same window gets €22,000 to €35,000. Prices have dropped 8% from the 2024 peak. This is a buyer's market on this platform right now. Maintenance reliability. The 2.0-liter EcoBlue diesel is Ford's most reliable transit engine in a decade. Timing chain, not belt, no replacement interval to track. The DPF is the watch point. Urban short trip duty loads the filter faster than highway miles. Pull the DPF service history on anything over 70,000 miles. A neglected filter runs $900 to $2,400 to resolve. But here's what nobody tells you. The City Advantage creates a conversion constraint that catches buyers completely off guard. The shorter wheelbase limits your sleeping platform geometry. A standard queen-length bed either hangs over the wheel arches or forces a diagonal layout that costs 30% of usable floor space. Buyers who don't verify their build plan against the exact wheelbase before committing pay $8,000 to a conversion company and then pay again to correct the layout. That's a $16,000 lesson in pre-purchase planning. Who should not buy it? Buyers over 6 feet 2 inches will find the medium roof livable but not comfortable for full-time daily use. High roof solves the headroom and destroys the parking advantage. There is no free upgrade. Pick which constraint matters more to your actual life. Part 2. Mercedes Metris. Now watch this, because this is where most buyers lose money without realizing it. The most overrated van in the city van life market right now is the Sprinter, and I'll tell you exactly why. Most people buying Sprinters for city van life are overpaying for a vehicle that doesn't fit their actual use case. The Sprinter is an excellent van for remote travel, off-grid builds, and highway-based full-time van life. It earns every dollar of its premium. But in cities, you're paying $15,000 more for height and length that actively works against you. The smart play right now is the Mercedes Metris. Following Mercedes' exit from North American van sales after 2023, Metris inventory is clearing from U.S. dealer lots at prices that will not stay this low. Overall length, 17.4 feet. Roof height, 6 feet flat. GWVR, 4,800 pounds. It parks in spaces that eliminate every Sprinter on the block. Why smart buyers choose it? The Metris is effectively invisible in urban environments. It registers as a shuttle or commercial work vehicle in every city in North America. No enforcement attention, no oversized surcharges, no advanced research required for overnight spots. And right now, 2019 to 2022 examples with under 70,000 miles are selling for $24,000 to $33,000. That's $10,000 to $15,000 less than equivalent Sprinter pricing for a van that parks better in cities and attracts less attention doing it. This is where amateurs lose money. They skip the Metris because they've never heard of it, and they pay a Sprinter premium for a vehicle that doesn't solve their actual problem. Maintenance reliability. The 2.0-liter turbo diesel is the same engine family running in millions of European Vito fleet vehicles. Well documented, strong to 150,000 miles with proper servicing. The specific risk, the 7-speed DCT automatic transmission. Any example with documented urban stop-start history above 80,000 miles needs a transmission inspection. Budget $2,500 for service if it hasn't been done. Skip that inspection and you're one repair away from a $6,000 surprise. This next detail changes the decision for some buyers. Parts availability in the U.S. interior is significantly tighter than Sprinter or Transit. Dealer-only repairs can mean 2 to 3 weeks waiting. For buyers operating far from major metro areas, that's a real risk. Factor a $500 to an $800 annual parts access premium if you're not near a Mercedes commercial service center. Who should not buy it? The Metris rewards compact, city-focused builds. If your van life requires a toilet, a permanent shower, and extended off-grid operation, this platform will not support that without serious compromise. Know your use case before the price convinces you. Part 3. Volkswagen California. Most camper vans on YouTube are filmed in places you'll never actually park. The California was engineered for the places you will. Volkswagen spent decades studying how Europeans actually use camper vans, in cities, at coastal towns, at campsite networks with height limits and length restrictions. The California is the product of that research. It fits everywhere by design. Overall length, 15.6 feet. Height with roof stowed, 6 feet 1 inch. Weight, under 3,000 kilograms. It accesses 98% of European parking infrastructure and the vast majority of U.S. urban overnight spots without advanced planning. Why smart buyers choose it? The California eliminates conversion risk entirely. factory kitchen, factory sleeping platform, factory pop-up roof, built by Volkswagen on the production line. No conversion company, no build timeline, no layout that looked right on paper and cost $8,000 to correct. You buy a finished, warranty-backed product. That alone removes $10,000 to $25,000 in conversion exposure from your total cost calculation. Real used price range. A 2019 to 2022 California Ocean or Coast in clean condition runs €52,000 to €72,000 in Europe. That sounds expensive until you price a base T6.1 transporter plus an equivalent quality professional conversion. The gap narrows to €8,000 to €12,000, and the California holds resale value in a way that aftermarket conversions fundamentally do not.
Maintenance reliability. The 2.0-liter TDI in T6 and T6.1 is one of the most comprehensively documented diesel engines in European fleet history. The specific risk? DSG gearbox fluid service. Dealers routinely skipped this under warranty. A neglected DSG shows as clutch shudder at 80,000 to 90,000 miles. Pull the DSG records. Budget €600 for an out-of-warranty service if documentation is missing. And this is where it breaks for some buyers. The pop-up roof seal. Precision-engineered, effective, and age-dependent. Full seal replacement after 7 or 8 years runs €1,200 to €2,000. Any California with significant time in high UV environments, southern Spain, southern France, California, needs a canvas seam inspection before purchase. A seam failure mid-trip is a $1,500 emergency repair, not a warranty claim. Who should not buy it? Full-timers planning extended off-grid operation will find the California's factory layout limiting. Battery capacity, water volume, and storage are weekend calibrated, not full-time optimized. For buyers spending most nights in cities and towns with service infrastructure access, this may be the most complete city-capable van available. For serious off-grid travelers, it is the wrong platform at a high price. Stop. Before the next two vehicles, I want you to sit with something for a moment. Every buyer who got this wrong didn't think they were getting it wrong. They thought they'd done the research. They thought the van looked right. They thought they understood the trade-offs. And then the moment came, usually in the third or fourth week, when they realized they hadn't bought freedom. They'd bought a restriction they couldn't undo without losing $15,000. That moment is avoidable. That's the only reason this video exists. Part 4. Ford Transit Connect. The van most buyers never seriously consider, and the buyers who do find themselves in a completely different class of city mobility. The Ford Transit Connect. Long wheelbase configuration. Overall length, 15.5 feet. Roof height, 6 feet. Curb weight, under 3,000 pounds. It parks in standard car parking spaces, not oversized van spaces, standard car spaces. In cities where van life enforcement is tightening, that distinction is worth more every year. Why smart buyers choose it? Every city on Earth reads the Transit Connect as a commercial delivery vehicle. No camping associations, no enforcement targeting, no premium surcharges. And its dimensions open overnight options that physically exclude every other van on this list. For solo travelers or minimalist couples who understand compact building, this is the highest value platform in the current market. Real used price range. 2018 to 2022 long wheelbase Transit Connect cargo vans run $18,000 to $26,000 in the US. In Europe, the Ford Connect equivalent runs €15,000 to €24,000. At these prices, with this level of city access, this is the platform that rewards buyers who've done their research over buyers who bought on reputation. Maintenance reliability. The 1.5-liter EcoBlue diesel is solid to 120,000 miles. Specification note, the U.S. market petrol 2.0-liter is not suited to van life operational loads. The diesel is the correct specification. Also avoid any example with documented courier route history. High idle hours from stop-start commercial duty cycles create DPF saturation that shows up as a maintenance bill at 60,000 miles. Verify the use history before the price convinces you. But here's what nobody tells you. The sleeping platform geometry is the hidden cost, approximately 4 feet 8 inches of floor width in the cargo area. A standard 75-inch platform doesn't fit flat. Custom carpentry or a diagonal layout is required. Buyers who don't plan for this spend $3,000 to $5,000 correcting a problem that was visible before purchase. Run your build dimensions against the floor plan before you commit to any deposit. Who should not buy it? 3 or more people, or any buyer who needs full standing height for daily comfort. This platform will frustrate you within 60 days. The Transit Connect rewards honest self-assessment about how you actually live. Part 5. Stellantis Compact Trio. The final entry isn't one van, it's a platform family, and it's the most underappreciated value position in the European market. Fiat Ducato, Peugeot Boxer, Citroën Relay. Same Stellantis platform, same dimensions, same parts network, in L1H1, 17.6 feet, 6 feet 4 inches, 3,500 kilograms GWVR. That's the exact ceiling for unrestricted motor caravan classification in Europe. Full airs access, no HGV routing, no low emission zone issues on 2021 spec units. Why smart buyers choose it? This platform dominates European camper conversion for structural reasons. Parts availability across the continent is exceptional. Independent mechanics know this engine by feel. The L1H1 configuration stays under city height restrictions in 90% of European urban environments, and the used conversion market depth means inventory, competition, and negotiating leverage that no other platform offers European buyers. Real used price range. 2018 to 2022 converted L1H1 examples from Stellantis run 28,000 to 48,000 euros, depending entirely on conversion quality. That range is wide, and the reason matters more than the number. This is where buyers get it badly wrong. Conversion quality variance on this platform is enormous. A professional-built L1H1 Ducato and a weekend DIY conversion can both list at 35,000 euros. The real value difference is 15,000 euros. Never purchase a converted Stellantis vehicle without a professional inspection covering wiring integrity, insulation quality, water system installation, and structural build quality. That €300 inspection has saved buyers 15,000 euros more times than any single piece of advice in this video. Who should not buy it? US buyers face genuine parts and service friction outside major metro areas. This is a European market platform. North American buyers should focus the Transit Custom or Metris for equivalent city-capable performance. Expert buying tips. 5 distinctions between smart buyers and expensive buyers. The mileage sweet spot. 55,000 to 80,000 miles with documented highway use. Under 40,000 miles and you're paying a depreciation premium that doesn't protect you. Over 100,000 miles on a van with urban short trip history and you're buying someone else's DPF problem. Highway miles are structurally worth more than city miles on these platforms. Verify the usage pattern, not just the number. Engines to avoid. First-generation 2.0-liter EcoBoost petrol in Transit platforms, 2015 to 2018. Documented coolant breach at the head gasket on higher mileage examples. Any petrol Transit from this window needs a coolant pressure test before purchase. Head gasket repair, $2,200. The test, $150. There is no version of this math that makes skipping the test sense. Years to target. Transit Custom, 2019 onwards for the EcoBlue upgrade. Metris, 2019 to 2022 for the revised DCT gearbox. California, 2019 T6.1, which corrected the water pump failure pattern in early T6 units. Ducato, Boxer, 2021 onwards for Euro 6D final compliance. Earlier units face progressive access restrictions in European low-emission zones through 2030.
Repair budgets to build in before you make any offer. DPF clean or replacement, $900 to $2,400. Glow plug set at 80,000 miles, $400 to $700. Timing chain tensioner on transit over 120,000 miles, $800 to $1,400. EGR valve clean on any platform with urban idle history, $300 to $600. These are not surprises. They are predictable costs that belong in your negotiation, not your ownership shock fund. The inspection you cannot skip. Roof and floor. Water intrusion from poor conversion sealing is the single most common hidden cost in the used camper van market. A damp meter inspection costs $150. Discovering floor rot or wall delamination after purchase costs $3,000 to $8,000 to correct. There is no scenario where skipping this makes financial sense. Buyer mistake warning. Here's the mistake that costs $10,000 to $20,000, and it is more common than anyone in this space admits. Buying a high-roof van for a city-based lifestyle. A buyer wants city flexibility, they find a transit custom. The high-roof listing looks like an upgrade, more headroom, better livability, they pay the premium. Then they discover that the parking garage at their primary city base has a 6'4" clearance. Every structure in their neighborhood matches it. Their entire urban parking strategy collapses in the first 2 weeks. They spend the next 14 months hunting open-air overnight spots, absorbing fines, paying oversized surcharges at campsites that know they have no other option. Then they sell. They absorb $11,000 in depreciation, plus conversion costs that didn't hold resale value, plus 2 DPF cleanings from too much low-speed urban circulation. The medium-roof van, the one that cleared every garage, was $6,000 less. Over 14 months, one roof height decision cost that buyer $17,000. Here's what that actually means. They didn't just lose money, they lost 14 months of the lifestyle they bought the van to have. They spent over a year managing a restriction they paid $45,000 to create. Roof height is not a preference, it is a use case decision. Get it wrong, and you've bought the wrong vehicle at the right price. Measure the parking structures you will actually use, not approximately. Go there, physically measure them. Do it before you finalize any roof height spec. In 2026, the most expensive camper van isn't the one that costs $120,000. It's the one that limits where you can go. Because the moment your van stops fitting your life, it stops being freedom, and it starts being a liability you're making payments on. The buyers who get this right aren't luckier than the buyers who don't. They're more deliberate. They verify the 3 numbers, they run the inspection, they choose the roof height that fits their actual life, not the one that looks best in a YouTube video filmed somewhere they'll never park. The van doesn't make the life. The decision makes the life. Make the right one.